Welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and we are here with Chainsaw Man, episode 4. So, last time we got to learn more about Power and her past. At some point after having taken over the body that became Power and everything in order to become a fiend, as we know that's what fiends are, they're devils who take over dead bodies. Sometime after that, she ended up coming across a cat, an emaciated cat, after killing a grizzly bear. And at first she wanted to fatten up the cat to eat it, but eventually grew very attached to it. So when a injured bat devil ended up taking the cat hostage, she agrees to a deal to give the bat devil a human so he can restore himself with the human's blood in order to get her cat Meowie back. So in the current day, we see she tricks Denji this way. She brings him to the Bat Devil, but the Bat Devil betrays her and swallows the cage with Meowie in it. This causes her to become depressed and apathetic and get eaten right after herself. So Denji, wanting to cop a feel because she did promise him that if he got Meowie back and everything, goes after the Bat Devil and ends up fighting him as Chainsaw Man and killing him. And that's kind of where the last one left off. We didn't see Meowie and Power again yet, but I assume we will in this episode. So this is definitely going to create a little more connection between Denji and Power, which is very much appreciated because, as we see in the opening, they look to get along famously, but currently they haven't been. So I assume this is going to be the start of their actual friendship and is going to be quite a big deal for their characters. Outside of that, we'll just have to see. But we did learn some interesting stuff last time too, such as the fact that as Chainsaw Man, he can retract at least the chainsaws on his arms at will, which can allow him to do stuff like, as we saw, catch a car without, slicing it to ribbons. This is very important information and can really change the way he battles for various reasons. But I'm very interested to see where this all goes. Because right now we're still doing setup. There's still a lot of characters we haven't met who are shown in the opening. And I'm very interested to see how they're introduced and where the story progresses at this point. Because there's definitely a lot more to this. The opening definitely hints at a lot more. And while I haven't seen the Mother's Basement video in full, there's this, if you don't know, the YouTube channel Mother's Basement, Jeff Thew, he made a What's in an OP video for Chainsaw Man, and I only watched the first section of it, which talks about all the references and stuff in the opening for movies and stuff for American cinema. But there's other parts to it too that talked about spoiler stuff from the manga, and I avoided those. So I don't know really anything about that. And if he mentioned any names for characters, I don't know. In the part that I did watch, I don't remember them at this point. So, well, okay, I remember one name for one character, but we haven't seen them yet. And I just know the name. It's not that big a deal. So when they appear, I'll obviously let you know I knew this person's name. But, excuse me, otherwise I don't remember really any other spoiler stuff, just oh, these shots from the opening were referencing The Big Lebowski or whatever else. Stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very much interested to see where this goes. I'm very excited for this. And for those who don't know, the day you're seeing this, I'm actually going to be at Youmacon. And the day this is coming up, Saturday, is the day I have chosen to wear my Makima cosplay. Um, so a little fun thing for you there. In fact, I could probably bring up a picture because I did a cos test to like, you know, to show online like what it would look like. I could probably bring that up real quick. Let me just find it here. But yeah, I chose to do a Makima cosplay because I basically had everything for it already, except I did need to get a new wig just because the wig I had, which I used for Kobayashi because their hair is very similar, was in terrible condition, so I did have to get a new wig. Oh, geez, that is huge. Hold on. Fit to screen. There we go. I obviously I'm gonna have to adjust the tie and everything, and I want to try to get away for the sides of the wig to stay down. I was told hairspray might work, but I don't have any, or a hair strainer. I don't have that. I don't know, but yeah. So that's I'm gonna be wearing this cosplay at Youmacon on the day you're seeing this, Saturday. So little fun for you to know that. But yeah, so we're just going to get into this otherwise and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this was a very, very good one. Like, this episode was great. For a number of reasons. First off, after slaying the Bat Devil, we have a surprise with another one. But before we get into that, because I almost skipped this somehow, we have a little more of the backstory showing the process of Power falling in love with Meowie and everything. And then we see them in the current day having been saved by Denji. He's being allowed to cop a feel, to grab some titty like he wanted. But before he can, they're attacked again by the Leech Devil, who, by the way, is fucking gross. Like, I mean, I understand, like, making a Leech Devil gross and everything, but oh my god, the tits. Why does it need tits? Why does it need? It's a leech. Why does it need 6 really long, gross, creepy, weird tits? Oh my god. And then on top of it, it's just really fucking gross in terms of person. I just dropped my mic. I apologize for that. I'm sure you heard that. Why does it need 6 really gross, long tits like that? I don't get it. It's so unnecessary. It's so needlessly disgusting. But on top of that, it's pretty strong. And it seems like the Leech Devil was romantically involved with the Bat Devil to some degree. Whether the Bat Devil agreed to that or not is an entirely different question at this point. But we see that the Leech Devil at least thought that, and is kind of out for revenge, but also kind of into Denji, and at first is going to try and, like, spare him because it likes him. Sure, why not? Let's go with that. Denji tries to fight it, but isn't really having luck. He already lost his arm, and he gets beat up pretty bad. He can't go full Chainsaw Man due to lack of blood. And he even gets hit so hard at one point, one of his eyes pops out. It's like, oh god, really, my dude? It's like, yeah, of course this series is going to be pretty, like, visually, like, gross and gruesome and shit, but it's like, Jesus. And then Aki comes to save the day. Aki, with the help of some other public safety devil hunters, comes to save the day. He does the hand sign he does in the opening, which, I mean, I think kids a lot of the time did hand signs like this to represent like dogs or bulls or stuff. I know I did. But he does that hand sign and summons the help of the, was it wolf demon or something like that? Or wolf devil, rather? Not demon, devil. But he does that, and he summons it. And apparently, we find out later it's because he formed a contract with it. And it's like he gives a little piece of himself every time he summons it. This time it was like a piece of his skin and everything on his arm. So yeah, it's something he really can't use too often because it obviously costs him. But it very much helped in that situation. He killed the leech devil with it and saved Denji and Power and Meowie. After the fact, he ends up agreeing to kind of just wave off the entire fact that Power had kind of betrayed them. And he tells Denji that there will only be one condition, that Denji has to start listening to him. Which it's like, fair fucking enough. He's like, I've been in this longer. I know these social cues better. And it's like, you can have your dream or whatever, but listen to me. Follow my lead. And it's like, yeah, fair. That's completely fair. And then she's like, yeah, okay, I'll think about it, basically. And so we see Power is let go. And then she ends up arriving at their house. And Makima tells him over the phone when he calls, and it's like, why didn't she tell him about this beforehand? But either way, she's like, oh, well, Power needs to stay somewhere, and you're the one I trust with that. And that got his attention real quick. It's like, oh, she trusts me? It's just, I saw that blush. And it's like, maybe Denji did have a point. Maybe he does like her too. It's very possible. It's believable. But she comes in and we find out that she's kind of, disgusting because she's a devil and she doesn't have like human standards when it comes to cleanliness and stuff. In terms of, flushing or in terms of, bathing and stuff. And it makes sense. But also, yes, if she's going to be living with humans, she does have to adhere to some human standards. But then she comes in at the end and tells him, you know what? You wanted to do this. You earned it. Time to touch some titty. She closes the door in the bathroom, sits down. It's like you get conditions here. You get 3 squeezes of the titty. You earned 3. 1 for rescuing Meowie. 1 for saving the Bat Devil. And the third one, I think, was just for rescuing her. Now I'm questioning this. Wait. 1 was for saving Meowie. 1 was for killing the Bat Devil. Oh, the third one was for getting Aki to agree to, let them go and everything. Yeah. But she's like, you earned those 3, go for it. And, like, she's even kind of taunting him with it, like, grabbing her tits and, like moving them around and shit. And it's like, girl. I don't think she cares. I don't think she really cares that much. Because, again, she's a devil. It's not... She doesn't even really understand the appeal of touching titties. It doesn't like appeal to her really. It doesn't matter to her. But she's like, you earned it, go for it. And he celebrates it, and the episode ends. And it's like, it better fucking show him getting to touch it. Like, I'm sorry, but with all of the build up, with all of with this being kind of his big motivation and all, we need to see it happen. We need to see it happen. It would just feel like it would feel wrong if it was done off screen. And honestly, with all the shit that's been shown in this series, I don't think him grabbing a little titty over her clothes, because it's most likely over her clothes, I don't think that's gonna like hurt with the censors or anything. Again, with everything else that's been shown in this series, I don't think that's gonna matter. So it better show it. That's all I'm saying. We got our new ending, because every episode's going to have a new ending for some fucking reason. I still don't get why, but this one was very comic booky, very power-oriented, cutesy, and it was good. I enjoyed it. And again, I very much enjoyed this overall. It very much continued to show how Power and Denji's relationship is going to grow, how they're going to become best friends and stuff. And it's like, hell, we're seeing flat out that like her titty's gonna be the first titty he ever gets to touch, and it's like that's gonna mean something to him. Plus the action was great as always, the animation, the soundtrack, the voice, all of it obviously great as always. No real issues there at all. And it was a pretty simple episode. Like outside of facing on the leech, or taking on the facing on was a weird way to put it, but facing the leech demon and everything, it was more like just kind of the fallback of everything that had happened with Power and all, and just kind of reinforcing the fact that this is our kind of main trio, Aki, Power, and Denji, by having them all live together now, and just kind of there's a lot of calm after the storm. Again, there's some comedy brought in with the fact that Power is exceptionally unclean. We get to see some cute meowy fun happening. And again, it kind of just pulls it back and lets us just relax after the exciting intensity of these past episodes, and allows us to really get a feel for these characters a little more, and how their relationship and how their interactions are going to go. And it makes sense. It makes sense. It works. It's fitting. And I'm digging it so far. I think that, like, as we saw in this episode, we saw that Aki is starting to soften. Makima noticed it herself. And yeah, I think it is because of Denji and even Power's influence. And I think that's going to continue to happen. I think he is going to connect with them, and he is going to befriend them. Both of them, even Power. And I think that it might even be a struggle for him, that he might even like question the fact that he's starting to like her, that he's starting to befriend her. And even Denji as well, because he is, you know, in a way part devil. And I think that would be great for his character. And we're already seeing Denji and Power starting to get along a lot more. And it's just like, yeah, I can buy this. I can completely buy this. And again, as I've stated before, I buy Aki's character very well. Because he's not just like this angsty, overly serious character just for the sake of being so. He's a 3-year veteran of the public safety devil hunters compared to Denji and Power. He has seniority, and he takes it very seriously because his entire family was killed in front of him. He has, as he said, had drinks with those cops. And he knows people who have lost friends and family as well. He's known people who have come into this business and died because they didn't take it seriously enough. He's hardened. He's become hardened and cold because of what he's experienced. It doesn't mean he's a bad guy. He's not angsty. I feel like people use that term way too carelessly. He is not angsty. He's cold. And again, he has reason to be. It's actually developed him already in this short amount of time pretty damn well. And that's impressive. That's genuinely impressive to me. Aki feels like a realized character here, as does Denji, and as does Power. Our main trio here feel like real characters that have had effort put into them. And I assume this is the same in the manga. I don't know how different this is in terms of its adaptation. The only thing I know that was different in the manga is the bathtub thing. When Denji's in the bathtub, he's like talking about union benefits and stuff. I did hear about that. That's the only thing I know for sure that is different about between the manga and the anime. But I wonder, like, exactly if there are any other notable differences. Like, oh wait, no, there is one other thing. I know that in the manga, when Power is accusing Denji of telling her to, go after the sea cucumber devil, I know that her face is like a little more wild rather than reserved and scared looking. Because I did see someone on Twitter show a comparison to that, and then like I saw other people like bitching them out for it. It's like, just don't do this. Just stop. And also, it's like, I actually kind of like the fact that she's a little more scared looking when she's accusing him in the anime, because it shows her fear over or her fear of Makima a little more than if she's just screaming. It shows how she's like not speaking up very well, how she's more reserved to how she normally is. And that actually reminds me, there is a third thing I know difference. Okay, I do know three differences. I don't think there's another. This one was so small, it's why I didn't think of it. There was the scene in the anime where Makima ties Denji's tie. That wasn't in the manga. In the manga, apparently, his tie is just tied from the beginning. Apparently, he did it. But it makes much more sense for his character that he would not know how to tie a tie. So, yeah, it's like the scene just kind of works on a conceptual level for that. Plus, also, people have pointed out it kind of relates to the fact that Makima sees him as like a dog, and, the entire tie can be seen as a collar kind of thing. It's like, yeah, there's that as well. So, okay, so three differences I know. Three differences I know, but like other like big stuff, like with the fight with the Bat Devil and everything, and the Leech Devil, it's like I don't know if that was differently or done differently in the manga. Or like how Aki and Power's character development has been so far. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this. Like, as I stated when I did my reaction to the first episode, I liked it. I very much liked it. But I just don't think it was as impressive as a first episode as something like Jujutsu Kaisen, which so actively impressed me when I first saw it. I don't know if you guys remember that, or for those of you who are newer and didn't see my reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen, if you go back and check that, I was excessively impressed with the first episode of JJK. And with this one, again, it was really great. It was really good. But it could have been better. It could have been better for me. JJK just blew me away. This one kind of lived up to what I was expecting with this series. But it's the episodes afterwards that have impressed me a lot more with Chainsaw Man. And especially with how they've introduced and handled Power. Power, like I've already said it, I like her more than Makima because I don't trust Makima, because everything is screaming that she's a bad guy. Everything is screaming that she's a devil. And it's like, there is so much evidence just in the opening alone to that. Her eyes are the same as Power's. Come on, people. This has to be intentional. It has to be. I'm not crazy, right? Don't actually answer. I don't want to be spoiled on that. Don't actually tell me if I'm right or not. I do not want to be spoiled on that. But yeah. I don't trust Makima, but Power has easily become my favorite character. I'll stick up for Denji. I love Denji. Obviously, I love Pochita, even though he's not really here anymore, but he is, but he isn't. I don't know. And I like Aki, but Power is definitely my favorite. She's amazing, honestly. I love her personality. I love her backstory. Ifaruz, I think is how her name is pronounced. If not, I apologize. But she does an amazing job. It's hard to believe this is the same voice actress as Jolene from Stone Ocean. It is such a different performance that it's wild to me that it's the same VA. But she is, and she does a fantastic job. I mean, even in the last episode, just like when she was doing those gasps of those exclamation gasps when Denji had changed his mind and started declaring that he was going to help her save Meowie, because he wanted to fondle her titty and everything. It's like the way she's doing those gasps, especially the last one, are so fucking cute. They are ridiculously cute in how Ifaruz performs them, and it's like, you didn't need to be that adorable. You really didn't. But either way, I'm having fun with this. I'm really into this series now, and I hope it continues to be just as good. Because unfortunately, I have watched series that started out really good, but ended up nosediving. And I've seen series that have also done the opposite, that started out terribly, but ended up getting amazing later on. So hopefully this ends up being really damn good all the way through. Hopefully it doesn't falter at any point. We'll see. In the meantime, though, tell me in the comments below, what do you think of this episode of Chainsaw Man? Let me know down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.